Starting with number 10, Estonia, 52.57%. Estonia, like other Eastern European nations, has been struggling with the aftermath of World War II, as well as dealing with various public health issues such as heavy drinking as well as smoking. Shockingly, the average Estonian man consumes 17.5 liters of alcohol every single year, more than double that of women. And sadly, Estonia has one of the highest self-unaliving rates in Europe, with men committing self-unaliving almost 5 times more often than women. Now, to add to this, nearly 11,000 Estonians leave their country every single year to find better economic prospects, with the majority of them being men. The country at number 9 is Portugal at 52.82%. Since the year 2010, Portugal has experienced a rise in the number of women as well as an increase in gender equality, which is a positive development. However, the Portuguese economy has encountered difficulties in recent years, leading many Portuguese men to seek better prospects elsewhere. Brazil, as well as other European Union member nations, are the most common destinations for Portuguese men looking to relocate. On top of that, the higher population of women in Portugal is partially due to the fact that men have lower life expectancy, and their average lifespan is 78 years compared to women. On average, their lifespan is 84 years in Portugal. Next up, we have Zimbabwe, 52.83%. Over in Zimbabwe, progress towards gender equality has been made, with women holding 31.9% of parliamentary seats as of February 2021. However, this positive step is overshadowed by the concerning fact that there is disproportionately a higher amount of women than men in the country, which presents its own set of challenges. In the year 2020, the male mortality rate was alarmingly high at 413% compared to the United States' rate at 138%, indicating the likelihood of passing away between ages 15 and 60. But despite this, Zimbabwe has experienced an overall decrease in mortality rates in recent years, giving hope that the gender imbalance and other issues can be addressed in the future. Coming in at the number 7 spot, we have Georgia, 52.98%. Georgia, a small but mighty country with a population of just 3.7 million, has a gender ratio of 52.98% women and 47.02 men. Despite its size, Georgia has a rich history of defending its independence against powerful neighboring countries like Russia and Turkey. However, limited economic opportunities have led to high rates of male immigration, and gender imbalance is largely due to mortality, which can be attributed to high rates of alcohol consumption, smoking, and other risky habits. Nevertheless, the Georgian people continue to persevere and work towards a better future. Lithuania drops in at the number 6 spot, 53.07%. Lithuania, much like its neighboring country Latvia, shares the same troubling trend of self-destructive behaviors among the male population. Men in this nation are known to have higher rates of alcohol abuse and smoking than women. In fact, smoking is so prevalent in Lithuania that over a third of Lithuanian men smoke daily, and many others, of course, they just smoke casually. But authorities in Lithuania have made it a top priority to discourage cigarette consumption. However, Lithuania does face a challenge of its young and skilled men leaving the country to seek better opportunities in other parts of Europe, like Germany and England. Coming down to the number 5 spot, Russia, 53.55%. On top of the impact of World War II, Russia, much like Ukraine, also experiences a gender disparity due to several different factors. The high prevalence of alcoholism and cigarette use among Russian men has a detrimental effect on their health. And this trend only worsened after the collapse of the Soviet Union, with the heavy drinking culture still deeply ingrained in the society. As a result, the male population is facing the long-term consequences of this behavior, contributing to the higher number of women in the country. From there, let's take a look at the country of Latvia, 53.68%. Located on the shore of the Baltic Sea, Latvia has one of the highest female-to-male ratios in the world. Unfortunately though, this discrepancy is primarily due to self-destructive behaviors that are more prevalent in Latvian men. Heavy alcohol consumption and smoking cigarettes are significant contributors to health complications such as heart disease and various cancers. The life expectancy of Latvian men is only 68 years, while the women can expect to live an additional 10 years, so 78 years. Self-unaliving rates are also concerning and higher among men, and this is a trend that is unfortunately common across many countries worldwide. Number 3 leads us to Ukraine, 53.71%. Over in Ukraine, the ongoing war has had devastating impacts on the population, and unfortunately, the disparity between men and women is likely to continue to widen. However, this is not a new issue for the country, as the low number of men has been a concern for many years, even before the current conflict with Russia. The Second World War inflicted immense damage on the male population, and many experts believe that Ukraine has yet to fully recover to pre-war levels. The continuation of the conflict only adds to the challenges faced by Ukraine in addressing this gender imbalance. From there, we move on to number 2, Belarus, 53.90%. Belarus is a nation in Eastern Europe, and it continues to suffer from the aftermath of the Second World War, like many countries. As the site of intense fighting during the conflict, Belarus lost more than a quarter of its population, the highest per capita casualties of any country. Adding to its struggles, Belarus is also one of the poorest nations in Europe and under the rule of a dictatorship, making living conditions difficult and economic opportunities very scarce. As a result, many young men have left the country in search of better opportunities in other parts of Europe. Coming in at the number 1 spot is Armenia, 54.97%. Armenia is a nation with a rich history, and it has faced several challenges in the 20th century. Soviet domination and conflicts with the neighboring countries have further added to its troubles. However, the gender disparity in Armenia is mainly a result of the aftermath of the Armenian genocide that occurred during and after World War I. When Armenia was under the rule of the Ottoman Empire, around 1.5 million Armenians were either just completely eliminated or forced to endure marches that would lead to their passing across the Syrian desert. The taking of life was so meticulously planned and executed that the term genocide was actually coined to describe these events. Many records suggest that men were the primary targets, resulting in an imbalanced gender ratio in Armenia. The country coming in at the number 10 spot is Djibouti at 52%. Djibouti is a nation where French and Arabic cultures blend, and it has a total population of 1,106,000 individuals. Within its borders lies Lake Assal, which is a remarkable saltwater lake located in the Danakil Desert, and it's renowned for its extreme salinity. In this East African country, men take the lead, comprising 52% of the entire population, with a staggering count of over 549,000 males. From there, we move on to the country of Bhutan at 53%. This Asian nation stands out as one where men significantly outnumber women, with the male population exceeding 53% of the total. Located on the eastern edge of the Himalayas, this South Asian country is a Buddhist kingdom characterized by its monasteries and diverse landscapes, which span from subtropical plains all the way to steep mountains and valleys. Now, when it comes to its population, it's around 780,000 people. Moving on to number 8, we have Equatorial Guinea at 56%. Equatorial Guinea, an African nation, is the first Central African country in this episode. With a population of around 1,634,000 individuals, males constitute 56% of the total population, amounting to 863,000 people, while females make up 47% of the population, accounting for 771,000 women. Similar to Arabian countries, Equatorial Guinea has a significant portion of its population comprised of foreigners who have migrated there for work, and they're drawn to the nation because of its abundant oil resources. Saudi Arabia comes next at number 7, 58%. With a population of 36 million people, Saudi Arabia holds the distinction of being the largest and most populous Arabian country globally. It's known for its strict gender policies, with women facing restrictions on their rights and freedoms. And in Saudi Arabia, women are typically under the guardianship of men who exercise control over every aspect of their lives. So the male population in the country stands at 28,800,000, while the female population is 15,184,000. Next up, let's take a look at Kuwait, 61%. Returning to another country in the Arabian Peninsula, Kuwait is known for its high income economy, and it ranks 6th globally in terms of oil reserves. The nation boasts a robust national currency and a population of 4,250,000 individuals. Notably, Kuwait experiences male dominance, with males comprising 61% of the total population. Foreigners make up a significant portion of Kuwait's population, accounting for around 70%, with approximately 3 million individuals originating from outside of the country. Now, the male expatriate population in Kuwait totals 2,600,000. And Kuwait's strong currency and abundant oil reserves have attracted a considerable number of expatriates, with the majority hailing from the Arabian Gulf region. From there, let's move on to the Maldives at 63%. Maldives is a South Asian country located outside of the Arabian Gulf region, and it has a population of 521,000 individuals, with males making up the majority at 63%. It is considered a patriarchal society where men hold a dominant position, and preference is often given to the male gender over females. Now, when we look at the government sector, there are only a limited number of women occupying key positions. Additionally, similar to Arabian countries, Maldives has a significant immigrant population, comprising approximately 34% of its total population. These immigrants primarily come from neighboring countries. Coming down now to the number 4 spot, we have the country of Bahrain at 64%. Bahrain, geopolitically situated on the Arabian Peninsula, holds the distinction of being Asia's 3rd smallest country in terms of land area. Now, its population stands at approximately 1.6 million people, with men comprising 64% of that population. According to the World Bank, the portion of men in the country has steadily increased from 61.6% in 2014 upwards to 64% in 2019. Now, over 50% of Bahrain's population consists of expatriate community. Among these communities, Indians, particularly from the state of Kerala, they form the largest non-national group, accounting for nearly 50% of the immigrant community. Apart from immigration, there is a notable imbalance in the gender ratio at birth, with a higher number of males being registered. Additionally, a majority of males tend to survive into adulthood, contributing to the overall male dominance in the population. From there, we take a look at Oman, 66%. Oman, situated on the Arabian Peninsula, is home to approximately 4.8 million people, out of which 3.2 million individuals, or 66%, are male. Now, the country country also has a significant immigrant and expatriate population with around 2 million people originating from other nations. The fast-growing economy of Oman, reliant on oil, has attracted many foreigners, predominantly males, from countries like India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. On top of that, Oman has a youthful population with 43% of its residents being under the age of 15. At birth, slightly more males are born, and the majority of them survive into adulthood. In the age group between 15 to 24 years, there are 110 males for every 100 females, while in the age group of 25 to 54, the ratio increases to 138 males for every 100 females. The country in at the number 2 spot is United Arab Emirates at 69%. The UAE, situated off the eastern part of the Arabian Peninsula, has a population of approximately 9.9 million people as of 2020. Out of this total population, 6.8 million individuals, or 69%, are men. Now, the proportion of men in the country has experienced mixed growth over the years. Recent data indicates a decline in the proportion of men, with a decrease from 74.8% in 2010. However, between 1994 and 2008, the UAE held the highest proportion of men globally. Similar to other countries, the UAE has a significant immigrant and expatriate population, accounting for over 85% of the total population. With a net migration rate of 21.71, the UAE has the highest rate in the world. Many of the immigrants entering the country are males seeking employment opportunities in industries driven by the thriving oil sector. Now, coming down to the number 1 spot in this episode, we have the country of Qatar. Qatar, a Middle Eastern country, is located in the Arabian Gulf, and it has an estimated population of 2.8 million people. The male to female ratio in Qatar is approximately 75% to 25%, with the male population surpassing the female population. This translates to around 2.1 million males and the remaining population comprising females. Furthermore, a significant portion of Qatar's population, around 80%, consists of foreigners, while the remaining 20% are indigenous citizens. Most of the foreigners have immigrated to Qatar in search of better opportunities, often working in roles such as construction workers and laborers.